Reading naming content online, this is the #1 most common comment I get, some days like up to 10 times, and I actually really like the intention behind it. I think like the thoughtfulness is there, and like it's great that parents are considering that, but I don't think the execution always goes the way that parents want it to when they choose these adult names for their babies, because they are choosing from names that are common for adults today without considering what the adult names of babies being born in 2024 are going to be. The landscape of names changes so much in like even just a decade, and I don't think people realize that. So sometimes they end up giving their baby a name that might end up feeling like a little awkward or like dated with their generation, and I am somebody who loves vintage names. I love old names. So for me, that's not a problem, but I just don't think that's the intention a lot of parents have when they're choosing these adult names for their babies. And when their babies grow up and are adults, these names might feel like kind of like middle-aged soccer mommy, or like what we would call boomer names. I know they won't call them that because they'll have a new term, I'm sure, but the intention is to give them an adult name, but having that like business casual adult name doesn't benefit them in kindergarten, and by the time it would benefit them, the landscape of what is an adult name looks very, very different. When I was in college, I had a friend who I knew as Annie. That's what she introduced herself as. That's what we all knew her as, and probably 2 years into our friendship, I found out her name's Nancy. And that was like her parents' exact conversation they had. They're like, we need to give her like a strong, successful adult woman name. So they did that for their generation of people, but Nancy was like the only Nancy in our generation of adults. I know that's an exaggeration. There are probably so many great Nancys who are 29, but she was the only Nancy she knew, the only Nancy in her circle, and she just didn't like it, so she went by Annie. This was not supposed to be so rambly. My point was just supposed to be, if it's important to give your baby that adult name, I do think it's beneficial to look at the names that are going to be adult names when they are actually adults rather than when they are babies. And that's all. And I hope everyone's having a good night.